Hello, everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 197. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Click that little thumbs up. Hit that little bell to be notified when I do when I publish some content here. So today's episode, and I'm not trying to scare anybody right here. It will be about some French music albums that I have in my collection. Now, I know you English-speaking fans and people I know, don't be afraid. There's going to be some great stuff, great stories attached to it, a lot of anecdotes, some funny, some heartfelt, but all in all, I've kept these albums for a reason. So I'm going to go through, there's maybe, 10, 15 albums here about. I got a little story. Some will take longer than others. Some people seem to like my storytelling at times, so this is the episode for you guys. Whether you talk English or French or whatever, it's mostly about the stories attached to the records. So before we start off, if you like this type of content, whoa, okay, I'm not even drunk yet. Cheers to you. that was fuck all, Dan. All right. Yeah, that's my first sip of the day. Trust me. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, album number 1. Most people think this artist only sings English, but us in our family, we know him as a French singer. So I'm talking about Roger Whitaker. La Ballade de l'amour. Yeah, that's a French album. So the story behind this is one of the reasons why I got back into vinyl, where I bought a record player not thinking I was going to buy or rebuy my whole fucking CD collection on vinyl. That was not the plan. I bought a record player just to be able to play my old records that I had. I still had a lot there, but nothing to what I have now. But anyway, so I bought my record player and we were playing these old vinyls that I had, and I was with my dad and we're listening to this and I'm like, wow, I'm actually enjoying re-listening to these old albums here. Some of these songs, oh my God. La Ballade de l'amour is a big hit for him there. Mommy Blue. Oh, mommy, mommy. See, there's some songs that he sings also in English, which I don't know which one's which there. But anyway, that was one of the reasons why I fell in love with listening to records again, was because of this album and a few others, obviously, there. But I loved bringing back old memories when I was listening to this with my dad. So here we go. Roger Whitaker is one of them, or Roger Whitaker. Okay, this next one, I may have talked about it on my channel before, but not in this context. So think back to 1982-ish. I have a sip for this here. My parents, there we go. We lived about an hour away from a shopping town called Rouyn-Noranda. So my parents sometimes would go and, on a Saturday would go off and I'd get babysat, and then they'd come back. Sometimes I'd go with them, sometimes I wouldn't. So this one time, I did go with them one time, and I was looking at we always stop for records for some reason. And I remember one time I was looking at this Kiss Creatures of the Night album. My close friends will know exactly where I'm going with this. So I was looking at this, but I didn't. My mom was like more like, no, you're not getting any Kiss. You have enough Kiss, which was 5 cassettes. So I was looking at Creatures of the Night, and I was showing my mom, like, oh yeah, this looks good, huh? And then my mom was like, whatever. Fast forward to another weekend where my mom and my dad went to Rouyn-Noranda to go and shop for some more records, and she goes, I'm going to buy you a record if you want. I'm like, oh, really? Cool. You know which one I want. So I was like all at home, waiting for my parents to arrive and waiting for the record I would be getting. And my mom arrived home, bless her soul. I mean, I've kept it for a certain reason. So my reaction, and the best reaction I could think of is if you watch The Simpsons, and I think Bart wanted a certain video game, but his mom bought him a golf game instead, and it kind of it pans to his mom's face. That was kind of me when I got the record. So instead of Kiss Creatures of the Night, my mom came home with this here. Johnny Farago, Parce qu'elle est là. Now, I go, what the hell? Like, what is this? And then my mom's like, oh, all proud. Oh my God, I talked to the guy at the counter. He said, it's like Elvis there. It's, your kids will love it. So, whatever, I took it. I still have it. So, fast forward a whole bunch of other years. Like, I know this album by heart because I had to a point there. And wasn't really paying attention until I became a Alice Cooper fan. And then I listened to a song called I Never Cry. I'm like, oh my God, I know that song. I have that in French. So he's got a song here called Les Hommes ne pleurent pas. And it says here, Cooper, Wagner, Bertillon. I guess that's the guy who translated it in French. There was no fucking J. Bertillon in Alice Cooper back then. But yeah, so if you translate it as Men Do Not Cry, but the song by Alice Cooper is I Never Cry. So you know what? As funny or whatever this is there, I still kept it all these years and still plays great. Never really listened to it anymore, but I do love to brag about that. He did a French cover of Alice Cooper's I Never Cry called Les Hommes ne pleurent pas. So there you go. That's another one. All right, this next one. I actually have 3 albums of this artist here. So back, when in the 90s, when videos were still popular, we had Much Music, which was English. It's like MTV, but Canadian. But there was also a Quebec one, which was Musique Plus, which was the French version of Much Music, Musique Plus. And they played, English music also, but they also played some French music. And I remember seeing this video by this one guy, and I couldn't believe it. It was so ridiculous, and I don't. But it's stuck in my head. My friend Pascal probably knows who I'm talking about by now because he's got all of his albums almost. So I'm talking about Capitaine No. So this is one album here. It's folk with silly lyrics, but there's some great, like, there's a song called Balloni, about a guy who ate a bologna sandwich, and you have to hear it to understand it there. Mind you, it's in French, but I friggin' love that song Balloni. Which one also? André, that's another great one too. But yeah, it's really just silly folk music, sometimes rock. So there's Capitaine No. This is I don't even know what the hell this name is. I think it's just called Capitaine No. And of course, he's got another one here called Difficile, which doesn't even have the song titles on. Oh, maybe on this one here. I don't know this one as much. But anyway, Capitaine No, Difficile. And of course, this masterpiece right here, and I will. So is it N'argent mène le monde? But anyway, there's this epic song. It lasts one whole side. It's called Ville de Rien. I'm trying to see what the timing. 20-minute song. Let's name it a sketch song with some music in the background. 20 minutes. And this has not dated well at all. If I'm to compare it with something you guys may relate to, is imagine Blazing Saddles, the topic of the sheriff, if you know exactly what I mean, but on record. And yeah, here's and yeah, anyway, you can see right there, Ville de Rien, 20-minute epic song. I would, like I said, I would call it, I use the word song stretched out a little bit much there. Think of it as a sketch with music in the background. Very dated, but hilarious nonetheless. So anyway, that's my third album from Capitaine No. Next one, okay. My friend Steph came over not too long ago to hang out, and I was telling him that I inherited from my uncle some albums. I said, oh, I got some French albums I need to listen to, and I show him one, and of course I show him this, and he goes, oh my God, my mom had this album, and I listened to it as a kid. He listened to it as a kid so long, and he goes, you have to listen to, well, there's Alouette, which we all know there, but that's not, but he forgot the name, but the song is called Victorio, and I was like, oh my God, I know this song, like another folk rock song there, but I'm actually glad to have this because it's got this that song Victoria, which, like I said, I it's a great song. And funny story, my friend Steph is like, I used to look at the cover and I used to think that this guy right here looked like the Sasquatch from $6 Million Man. I was like, okay, looks a little more like Grizzly Adams there, but anyway, that's another great surprise that I inherited from my uncle. So Garolou, which has got Victoria on it, which I've heard all my life on a French radio station, of course. So there you go. This one here, okay. When my mom passed away, I went through her record collection and decided to keep albums that meant a lot to me, or how do you say that? They're bring back good souvenirs and all that. And every day on December 30th, which is her birthday, I do play this album. And if you follow me on Instagram, the link is below. You'll know that every time on December 30th, I'll play this album. Joe Dassin. This is more like a greatest hits, I guess. But you know what? As French songs go, this is actually brilliant. It's like a crooner. I wouldn't say his voice is the best there. It's very low pitched there, but the songs are there. And to this day, I play this at least once a year on December 30th in honor of my mom, who loved this guy here. So Joe Dassin, Mélancolie. It's sort of a greatest hits, I think. So there you go, Joe Dassin. All right, next one. Oh, this also was probably one of my first tries on Discogs. So my dad went to see a movie 3 times at the cinema. My dad doesn't like to spend money at cinemas because he finds them too expensive. But he went once with his girlfriend, once alone, and I forget the third time. Did he go alone again? I don't know there. Like, he loved this movie that much. So he's like, Dan, I just saw this movie, blah, blah, blah. Do you think you could find one of her records? I'm like, challenge accepted. Went on Discogs, one of my rare times I went on Discogs, found it. I think this is actually tagged as my first buying on Discogs. So it's La Bolduc. This is old music, like in she died in 1941, just to give you an idea how old. Doesn't say when. This album is obviously not recorded, and it's probably in the 20s or 30s, like this type of music there, where there was one take and you can hear the the crackling there. But what was the song there that we used to sing as kids? La Bastringue. We used to sing that folk song when we would meet at my uncle's New Year's Eve party. As like I said, we were 8, 10, but that was popular music that they listened to. And it was fun, you know, dancing or almost like a conga line there. But yeah, La Bastringue would be, again, if you're not familiar, again, if you're not French, you probably won't know these songs there. But anyway, La Bolduc, 20 greatest hits. My dad was impressed that I was able to find this album for him there. So there you go, La Bolduc, 20 greatest hits. There you go. All right, this one was for me. I bought this one for me. So this is mostly a sketch troupe. So Rock et Belles Oreilles, the disc. If you don't know what Rock et Belles Oreilles is, think of either Monty Python, sketch comedy club, troupe, I should say, Kids in the Hall. This was the French equivalent. And we absolutely love these guys as teens, like love them. I would say I like these guys more than Kids in the Hall. And Kids in the Hall I love. Okay, so yeah, there's like 5 songs on this, but there's also some sketches, like audio sketches there. So I was listening to this, I was like reciting all the sketches by heart. So, and the songs are good too. Arrête de boire, Le feu sauvage de l'amour, Ça rend rap. So great song. But anyway, I bought this not too long ago. I'm like, my friend Yan bought it. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that one. So there you go, Rock et Belles Oreilles, the disc, great condition too. So yeah, another, that one was for me. Another one here that I inherited from my uncle, and we used to laugh. Like, I don't take this guy seriously at all. So Plastique Bertrand. This is one has the famous Stop ou encore. But you guys must have heard, it's Plastique Bertrand, what the hell? Ça plane pour moi. It's French from France, or he's Belgian from up the other side of the pond there in France, Belgique, and I believe that's where he's from. And but yeah, you have to, any English people who actually stuck around so long right now, go put Plastique Bertrand and then Ça plane pour moi. So CA space PLANNE space POUR space MOI. I bet you've heard that song in commercials. It's playing on commercials. I don't know if it's just in Canada or what there. But yeah, Plastique Bertrand, Ça plane pour moi. Unfortunately, it's not on this album. But Stop ou encore, I still remember seeing this guy on a like a kids music show, and he was playing this song, and I was like, it's cheesy, ridiculous. Do I like this guy? No. Does it remind me of good memories? Yes. So Plastique Bertrand, there you go. I actually own one of his albums. All right, next up, probably my first or second buying on Discogs, and this was an album that my mom used to play my sister and I as a kid, and there was one song that stuck in my ear, and of course this one here, Nana Musuri. Even if you're English, you must know who Nana Musuri is. And my mom used to love her, but man, she played the song. What was that song? Un haricot dans l'oreille. So, translation, I have a green bean, you know, like a bean, like not a kidney bean, but I have a bean in my ear, pretty much. I don't know what it means there, but man, we used to friggin' sing this. Like I said, I was probably 5 or 6 there at the time there. The record was all scratched up, and a little like my, you know, that Stampeders 45 I had on an episode I did with Jason regarding trigger songs there. So yeah, Nana Muscuri, Dans le soleil et dans le vent. Now this copy works fine. So do I listen to this? Not really there, but I have it, and it means a lot to me. There you go. Okay, when before COVID, I used to work downtown. Now, like I said, I work from home, but so when I started collecting records every day, and I'm not kidding here, every day on my break, I would go in the back of the parking lot where I work. There was, or there still is, a used record shop. And literally, I was there every day, once, 5 times a week, every day, just to see what other new or used, well, used, not new arrivals that were used. So I actually found this for my dad, which was Les Classelles, which apparently is his first ever concert he went to as a kid. So I'm like, I got you this, Dad. He was like, oh my God, like, super happy. So we played from time to time. It's English songs, but translated in French. So, of course, you got Jolie Femme, which is Pretty Woman. Uh, Twist and Shout. Well, Only You. I think that's the one. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of there's songs sung in French, but yeah, his first ever concert. So he decided, I'll uh, I'll get this for him there. So we listen to this one a few times a year there. So Les Classelles en spectacle. It's a live album. Next one, another one that my uncle gave me. Didn't know nothing about it until I talked to my friend Pascal. It goes, you know this band called Oat Shows? He's like, oh my God, I have their box set. And he shows me this. And what was Nancy Baudouin, that song? Yeah. So I listened to it just to make sure it works. And of course it works. And my uncle's like, oh my God, I saw this guy or this band at La Cité Collégiale way back in I forget when he went. And he bought that album there, and no, it's not a gateful. But yeah, this rocks. Like, this is like rock with a touch of folk, I guess. But yeah, I actually like this album a lot here. So Oat Shows, I think that's just the name of the album. Oh no, Une nuit comme une autre, I think is. Ouais. Une nuit comme une autre. There you go, Oat Shows. This one here was given to me as a kid, and there's two huge songs on this here. I think this guy was mostly known as in my eyes, he was known as a comedian or an actor, not a singer. So this was given to me by an older woman who delivered newspapers when I was a kid. So for some reason, she brought this home one time, Jean Lapointe. This has Chante-la ta chanson, which, again, if you're French, you must know what that is. And C'est dans les chansons. My God, there's like 3 songs with the word chanson, which is song in French. Chante-la ta chanson. I don't even know if this is written by him or not there, but anyway, he's got these songs. Again, thought this was a comedian or actor before. I'm not sure. I don't know much about this guy. I know who he is. I think that he was in the Girolas there with that song Méo Penché, which actually, now that I think about it, I should try and find that one now. But anyway, Jean Lapointe, Profil, I think it's called. Yeah. This one, my friend Pascal gave it to me because he got it on CD. So, point one. So, how do I compare this song? Well, it's a whole album there. It's, I guess, the equivalent to La Danse des Canards. Na, 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 that song there. So it's called Pitp. Very, very silly song, but it's got some people. I was like, oh my God, that guy's in there, and that, like, Marc Labrèche, the guy from La Petite Vie, is in this, plays drums. Normand Brathwaite was also a comedian there. Marc Drouin was also anyway, silly music there. It's he didn't sell it to me, he just gave it to me there. So thanks, Pascal. Now I have, and I believe has to be Normand Brathwaite's body right here, I think. But whatever, I could be wrong there. But yeah, pied de poule, which translates to chicken foot. Fuck, no, that can't be from that, no. You know, this moment there, I was like, no, that can't be that. Pied de poule, which means chicken foot. Did Sammy Hagar have a copy of this here? I don't know. Wow, okay. Never, until now, I kid you not, I did not know. I never translated this to English, but anyway. Pied de poule. Two more, guys. This was another one here that was given to me by my uncle. Corbeau, which is, it doesn't have the song that I would have wanted, which is Illégal. Marjo became a huge singer. I think it's in the 90s, French singer there. But before Marjo went solo, she was singer of Corbeau, which is crow. Yeah, right? Anyway, that's the back right here. Better picture of the... Anyway, good album here too. Not much of a story behind this one here. And last but not least, yes, I do own some metal that's French. So, I was kind of like, not complaining to my friend Pascal. I was like, French music is, He's like, oh no, there's some great stuff. So, we had a trip to Montreal, and I don't know her personally, but she's a friend of my ex-guitarist. Well, she's also a friend of Pascal, I believe here. Friend of a friend, or my ex-guitarist from a band. Anyway, it's called Kosma, which is actually pretty good. The name of the girl here is Annick Giroux. So yeah, she is very driven, popular, I guess, in the Montreal music scene here. So I think they've got two for sure, 3 albums maybe. So this was there that day, and I was like, what the hell? We'll try it out there. And actually, I was pleasantly surprised here. So that's, again, I bought it mostly because it's a friend of a friend. I know her, but I don't know her personally. But my friends do, so I'm like, there you go, tried it out. So Cauchemar, Rosa Mystica, there you go. So my first metal French. And my friend Pascal, he loves this band called Sortilège, and I went to a record fair, and Pascal, I came this close to buying it, but I already had this much of a pile of albums. I was like, okay, I can't buy this. This is way too much. But I came that close to buying Metamorphose by Sortilège. And in a way, I'm glad I didn't at the time, because that seller sold me an album that's like got some skips on it, and I'm like a little upset about that one here. So the rest were fine, but just that one. So I'm like, in a way, I'm glad I didn't, because I'm afraid that I would have had the same thing with skips on it. I was like, ugh. Anyway, so that's my I have 2 or 3 more upstairs, like Ginette Renault, and I got no relation or stories with that one there. I forget what was the other one I didn't choose there. But anyway, there's a couple upstairs. Oh, Mireille Mathieu. I was like, I just kept those in honor of my mom there. So anyway, that's my collection of French music. This is probably the only episode you'll ever see me doing a French music, but mostly is because I wanted to share some of the stories attached to them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed those stories. And on that note, thank you guys for watching. Here's my empty glass. And we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.